Welcome to Ole Football, and this is failed loan footballers this season. Ansu Fati was supposed to be Barcelona's future, but due to excessive workload on the very young player, it led to a ruptured ACL, which halted the player's progress, and his bright future in the club where he grew up was overshadowed. Blaugrana decided not to invest more in their homegrown talent and first benched him without giving him playing time, and then sent him on loan to Brighton under Roberto De Zerbi to prove to everyone that Barcelona was wrong about their homegrown talent. But like at Barcelona, Ansu mostly came off the bench, and due to another injury, he missed 2 months of his career, and despite De Zerbi wanting him to prove himself, the player's body couldn't cope with the demands, and most likely after this loan, he will go out on another loan again, but to a club where there isn't such intense competition in his position and where the physical demands aren't as high as in the Premier League. Barcelona should consider stopping overloading their young players with crazy amounts of playtimes, otherwise they won't have any players left in the academy at all. Ansu Fati, Gavi, and Pedri are examples of how Barcelona single-handedly destroys its talents physically. Tanguy Ndombele's career was overshadowed by Mourinho's statements about his mentality, although at times he showed glimpses of why Tottenham paid £55.5 million for him, but these flashes were very short-lived, so for the third consecutive season, he has been on loan at different clubs. Currently, he is playing for Galatasaray. Although it's difficult to call it performances, he is absolutely useless, and after 7 matches for the Turkish club, he was excluded from the team due to his love for burgers, which led to a major scandal at the club between the player and the manager. He set a condition that he would return only when he lost weight, but he gained even more. It's unclear what happened to him after his move to Tottenham, as he played excellently at Lyon, but Mourinho's words turned out to be prophetic in his case. He has failed again, and most likely, he will become a free agent very soon, as Tottenham is tired of the unnecessary financial burden on its budget. Moroccan defensive midfielder Sofyan Amrabat came to Man United on the last day of the transfer window on loan from Fiorentina, and many fans were excited about this signing, especially remembering how he performed for his national team in the last World Cup. However, he arrived injured, and when he got fit, fans realized that he simply isn't the caliber of player United needed. Additionally, he was often used to fill in empty spots on the pitch due to the injury epidemic at United earlier in the season. Amrabat is still a decent footballer, but he is too slow for Premier League football. I think many Red Devils fans are relieved that this was just a loan, and they didn't sign Amrabat on a permanent deal. So far, it looks like a mismatched deal that hasn't benefited either the player or the team. What do you think? Am I wrong with this take or not? Let me know in the comments. As a Man United fan, I feel like it was a good signing on paper, but it simply isn't working out the way we hoped. Nicolo Zaniolo, a footballer with a very challenging career. From a young age, success was predicted for him, and he was hailed as the face and hope of Italian football. But at the age of 24, he has already torn his cruciate ligaments twice. This is the most horrific injury a footballer can sustain because it is difficult to return to the same level after it. However, under Mourinho in the 2021-22 season for Roma, he managed to have a decent season, but after that, everything went downhill. And his loan to Galatasaray also did not reassure fans that he would ever be able to return to his previous level, but Unai Emery decided to bring the Italian to Aston Villa on a year-long loan, where he has also failed to shine and has become a player used to plug gaps in the team or simply sits on the bench. Aston Villa is unlikely to want to keep him in their team, and Zaniolo needs to find a simpler team where he can play in his position and find stability, as this is necessary for his career and his own health. Fabio Carvalho returned to Liverpool from loan after spending 6 months at RB Leipzig. During his loan spell at the German club, the Portuguese player appeared in 15 matches. In most of the games, he only came on as a substitute, and because of this, Fabio's loan had to be terminated since Liverpool bosses were disappointed with the use of their player. From the minutes he was given in Leipzig, it was evident that he was not comfortable and didn't fit well into the team's game. Therefore, in January, Liverpool terminated Fabio's loan and sent him a bit closer to keep an eye on him and his progress at Hull. Hopefully, Fabio will be able to get more playing time there and finally unlock his potential. An interesting situation has developed with Kepa Arrizabalaga at Real Madrid. After Courtois' injury, Los Blancos immediately decided to loan the Basque goalkeeper from Chelsea instead of giving the promised chance to Andriy Lunin. Kepa performed decently in the first couple of matches, but then he started making really bad mistakes. In November, he got injured and was out for a bit, and Andriy Lunin finally took over the goalkeeper position, firmly establishing himself as the first-choice keeper with his confident and phenomenal play backed by statistics. Despite Kepa's recovery from injury, he is unlikely to reclaim his place in the Los Blancos starting lineup, and the entire loan spell was pointless for both Real Madrid and Kepa. However, for Kepa, seeing what's happening at Chelsea, this loan will still remain as a pleasant business trip away from the madness of the office that now resembles Stamford Bridge and sloppy team management by Todd Boehly and his minions. Renato Sanches' career is a sore subject for me. He's a player with tremendous potential, but who constantly disappoints at the top clubs in Europe. Therefore, he went on loan to a club that matches his current level, Roma. But like many in this list, the issue that many players at the Roman club face is constant injuries and inconsistent game time. After this failed loan, Renato will need to find a new club and no longer attempt to break into top clubs, as his limit seems to be clubs like Sevilla, Luton, Valencia, and Nice, because there won't be strong psychological pressure and such heavy physical demands that the Portuguese can't handle. I am honestly very disappointed with what's going on with him and his career, because in my eyes he had everything to become one of the best ballers of this generation. The Iranian Messi, as Sardar Azmoun was called, couldn't fully adapt to European football. In Bayer Leverkusen, he couldn't make his mark, and his poor statistics only confirm this, while his recent loan spell at Roma only reinforced the belief that Sardar is an overrated forward. Yes, he primarily came off the bench at Roma, but even then, he couldn't show anything noteworthy. Plus, his proneness to injury and the lack of trust from European coaches in the teams he joined to play for. In my opinion, the issue lies in the fact that he spent too much time in Russia, where his progress stalled, and when he moved to play in Europe, he didn't have time to adapt to the new requirements and realities. Azmoun, unfortunately, will remain in football history as a failed Iranian Messi, despite having much potential. Also, the media needs to stop putting labels and calling someone the new Ronaldo or Messi, because it puts immense pressure on young players. Players like Azmoun or Ryan Gauld are victims of this pressure, which is one of the reasons they may not fulfill their potential. Joaquin Correa was loaned from Inter to Marseille for a year with an option to buy for 10 million euros. It didn't work out for him at Inter, and he hoped to revive his career in France, but 34-year-old Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang is showing excellent form this season, especially for his age. This lost competition, against practically a pensioner, albeit an elite one like Aubameyang, doesn't look very pleasant for Correa, whose passion for football gradually faded after his move to Inter. Therefore, this summer, they will do everything to sell him anywhere to avoid burdening their payroll, and this loan to Marseille is a complete failure. The funny thing about this whole situation is that it was the fault of Simone Inzaghi, who made him a key player in the attack at Lazio, after which he followed him from Lazio to Inter, weakening the competition but also destroying his career in Milan. So it's not always worth following your favorite manager to another club. Thanks for watching. I would like to hear your thoughts in the comments on who you think failed or progressed on loan this season. I'd love to read your answers and have a dialogue. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and love this game. Also, check out some of my other videos on the channel, as you can see on your screen. Trust me, they're interesting. I'll see you next time.